This is Outside the Cage with your hosts, Ike Feldman, Pete Hoffman, and we are being joined right now. Again, Bellator 220 is this weekend. We're super stoked about it, McDonald versus Fitch, but there is also another title fight for the women's flyweight division. Ilima-Lei Macfarlane joins us right now. Ilima-Lei, how are you doing?
I'm good, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Beautiful. We are fantastic right now. Love to hear your perspective of women in sports, in Bellator and MMA, how, you guys are publicized, you are highlighted. There's not many sports that are like that. There's not many things that are like that at the moment, but MMA puts you at the top of the pedestal. Tell me how you feel walking into the cage, being part of Bellator, how good they make you feel.
Oh, man, I swear, I say this every single time, and I stand by it, but Bellator is the best promotion in the world to work for. Scott Coker, Uncle Scott, he's been incredible, especially with women's MMA. He was the one that discovered Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey. Even my teammate Liz Carmouche has worked under him for Strikeforce. And so he understands how special women's MMA is. And I truly believe that he is one of the biggest reasons why we are so successful today. So having a boss like him, I couldn't be more grateful for. And, with that said, we have come a long way, and I always give credit to all the women who've come before me, like the ones I mentioned before. They were pioneers of the sport, and without them, I wouldn't be in this position right now. So I think it's definitely been a combination of the promotion, Bellator, Uncle Scott, and all the women that came before me as to why women's MMA is so successful today.
Did you just say Uncle Scott?
Yeah, it's the uncle right there. It's a Hawaiian thing.
Are the stories true? We've heard that he's had sit-down dinners with some of his fighters and some of the fighters that aren't even on his rosters. Is it true that he's just that kind of cool? And is he a martial artist himself?
Yes. He is. He's been a martial artist for years, and that's what makes it so cool. Is that he understands the sport. He actually truly understands it and respects it and respects the fighters and knows what we have to go through. And so, yeah, he's so chill, dude. Like those stories are very true. And not just the women that fight for him, but all the fighters. Every single one of them has had a positive experience, to my knowledge, working under him. So, yeah, that's the uncle right there.
Ilima-Lei Macfarlane joining us right now again, fighting this Saturday for putting her flyweight title on the line. You talk about chill. Being Hawaiian just seems to be super, super chill. We had Max Holloway in here a couple weeks ago before his fight, and he just was so chill with us. Seriously, like what is it about you guys that you just relax, but you're so relentless?
Chill.
Yes, chill. But you're so relentless, and you're in the cage. Like a different switch clicks on, and you're just brutal. You brutalize your opponent.
Man, I think for sure growing up in Hawaii, like if you guys ever go to Hawaii, the atmosphere is, like you said, it's so chill. We're surrounded by nature. How can we not be happy, to grow up in a place like that? But then that warrior brutality comes out when we get inside that cage, and that comes with the pride that we carry for our people, for our land, for our history. So yeah, it's definitely Hawaiians are some of the best people in the world, some of the nicest, most generous, hospitable, loving people in the world. But don't test us, because we have that warrior side to us too.
Awesome, love it. Again, we're being joined by Ilima-Lei Macfarlane, fighting this Saturday, Bellator 220. Do you do anything similar to what Max Holloway does before he fights? I think he goes sees a statue of one of the gods. Do you do anything like super spiritual before you make the trip to the States sometimes?
Oh yeah, for sure. So he actually, I think he goes and sees King Kamehameha, which was he was one of our greatest chiefs of the islands. He was actually the chief that united all the Hawaiian islands. But I definitely am very spiritual. Leading up to the fight, I do a lot of sweat lodges, which is a Lakota tradition. So I do the sweat lodges and the Unipi ceremonies out in San Diego, out on the Sycuan Reservation. I have like my medicine bags with me and my crystals, and I sage my room when I get here to the hotel room. And even when I'm cutting weight, it's a really spiritual experience almost. When you feel depleted, you don't have any water or food in your system, and you're sitting in a bathtub trying to sweat everything out. I put sage in the water. I put on my chants and my music, and so everything about.
You sound like my wife before she gets ready for bed. It's like 4 layers of lotion, oils. There's vaporizers. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
are we going to sleep?
I'm definitely super hippie. I definitely tune into my spirituality and my spiritual side before my fights as well.
Cool.
Speaking of spirituality, Eddie Bravo. I mean, 10th planet
Are
jiu-jitsu.
you sure that's spirituality, or is that?
We've had him on, and he has opened the door to some crazy conspiracies.
Just look into it, man.
But honestly, as a coach, as a mentor, take us through the process of being with him, because he seems like, I remember his story about Aaron Pico walking into his doors and being like, dude, listen, I don't care about this knockout power. I'm going to take it. I want you to learn how to take down your opponents and work on this jiu-jitsu. That's what I want you to do. I don't care about whatever else you do. I don't even know who you are. Is he like that when you step foot in that door? Does it make a difference who the name is? It just everyone's a part of the same unit?
Oh yeah, and Eddie, he's great. He created this system. I can't say enough how incredible the 10th Planet system is for MMA, because he created this jiu-jitsu system for fighting, for MMA. Even just, obviously you guys have talked to him before, and me and Eddie are really cool. We've gone to Singapore. I went to Singapore to do his jiu-jitsu camp, so like for a week straight, all I heard was nothing but conspiracies, and that was really cool. But yeah, he's great. He's knowledgeable. He's out there. He's hilarious, and he's taught me a lot too. Not just about the system, but just about life. And people. I always say, like, people don't pay to go watch Eddie give a seminar about technique. They pay to just listen to him talk, because that guy can freaking talk. And I always joke around. I'm always like, it's the differences between a religion and a cult. In a religion, the leader is dead. So I'm like, when Eddie dies, 10th planet is going to become a religion, because right now we're a cult.
If they do a statue of him, it'd be like a cement bong in his hand while. Amazing. Exactly. No conspiracy here, because you fought in Hawaii, but obviously the UFC and Max are trying to be some pioneers and get into the islands, get into the arenas over there. But you actually fought there. You're a pioneer in your sense, like a Hawaiian fight on your own turf. Take us through Bellator 213. Ariel Helwani's like so loud about that was the best walkout of the year. Can you take us through the walkout and the fight? Obviously, you dismantled Valerie Letenu in the 3rd round, I believe, with the triangle. Take us through that experience.
Oh my gosh. So it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Basically the walkout was, how do I explain it? Okay.
Chill.
The whole arena went, it was crazy. It was, so I wanted a traditional Hawaiian walkout with kahili bearers. That's what we would call them. They're the ones that would escort. They're like a security guard basically, but they would escort, the royalty out. And so I had 4 kahili bearers with me, and actually one of them was Max's brother. I asked Max if he wanted to do it, but he's like, I don't want to wear a malo.
Is that
it's like one of those,
what's a malo?
Traditional Hawaiian, like a loincloth almost that only covers your front part.
He doesn't want to show his coconuts.
I asked him, and I asked CJ, and like all of them are like, no malo. So, but anyway, I had 4 kahili bearers who are all carrying the Hawaiian flag, and they started off, so before I even walked out, they started it off by chanting Iku Mau Mau, which is a really, really well-known chant in Hawaii. And so it's a responsive, or it's an interactive chant as well. So they'll lead it and then the audience responds. So as soon as they started it off, the audience started chanting with them. So that was like, holy crap. Like everyone that was there was like, oh my gosh. So once the chant was done, then I walked out and, there was a slideshow of my baby pictures and me growing up in Hawaii, going to school in Hawaii. That was playing on the background. And I walked out to All Hawaii Stands Together by Dennis Paval. And that's another song that everybody knows. So the whole audience was singing along to it. And so it was just incredible. Like everyone was on their feet. There were people crying. I was crying. And then when we got to the end of the ramp, then we did a traditional greeting, a traditional Hawaiian greeting, which is where we touch our noses and we breathe in each other's essence, because that's the exchange of breath, or the ha. So I did that with all my kahili bearers and thanked them, and it was just a really magical moment, and I was so happy that we were able to share that with the world, with everybody watching, and I was just so happy that everybody understood the message that we were trying to portray, and there was no ill feelings, no negativity. It was nothing but love and aloha, and the whole arena. You could feel the mana and the vibes in there. It was great.
Yeah, nothing against Darren Till and Sweet Caroline at I think it was the O2 or whatever the hell it was
that
last
was
year.
Pretty badass, though.
You blew him out of the water. You win. Ariel was right.
Ilima, my last question for you. You have your fight versus Ortega this weekend, but and not trying to pass her up and not trying to look past her, but let's be serious. You are, put in there as the top 10 flyweight in the world. Is there someone that you really want to fight that's maybe not in Bellator?
There is actually a fighter that I really, really want to fight, and she is not with Bellator. And that is actually Liz Carmouche, my teammate.
Oh, you want to fight a teammate?
Woo! Dude, when everybody asks, like, what's your dream fight? I'm like, Liz, we've already talked about it. Like, we want to fight each other because, dude, we love each other. That's the sister right there. That's the mentor. And we've already talked about, like, oh, my gosh, what would happen if we had to fight? Like, who would be our corners? And so it's just been, like, a fantasy fight for me. But, yeah, I'd want to fight Liz if I could choose.
Wow. Now, do you think Uncle Scott will let that happen? Do you think that we could work to have a Bellator versus UFC? Do you think he can make that happen?
I don't know, honestly. I have no idea. I mean, like, but they said, before the NFL was created, right, that those two divisions would never fight or whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We've seen trades happen. We've seen the UFC and one championship starting to make some trades. So that's why I feel like there is wiggle room. I don't know if Scott Coker and Dana White are as friendly as some other promotion presidents, but I feel like this could happen, and I feel like you're the one to make that happen.
Yeah.
But Ilima-Lei Macfarlane, thank you so much. Best of luck this Saturday, and we're looking forward to seeing more from you, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.